She's just a girl, but she's on fire.
Hi guys, Ali Alvarez here, and I'm very excited to introduce the 30-day business challenge to both my team and my subscribers on my list. So this is my gift to you, and I'm going to offer a lot of value and information. So I hope you get a lot out of it, and you might actually need to watch this video again to kind of gather all of the things, the ideas that I'm offering for you today. So to give you an idea, first of all, this 30-day business challenge was inspired by a mentor of mine who is a $1 million internet marketer online. And this is something that he's shared and done with people on his team, and that he's seen phenomenal results. So as I share this challenge with you, on the surface it might seem like a very simple concept, but we're going to kind of go deeper, and it's kind of like the Yoga Sutras, that it's this seed concept or seed idea, and that it opens up into a lot of depth once you kind of go beyond it. And that can be really tricky with our brains, because sometimes, we're like, okay, here's 3 steps to do something, and the steps can seem really simple. But unless we're actually doing the action and actually following the directions and following the steps, we don't get results, or it seems sort of deceptively simple. So I encourage you to step in with your full heart and full energy and really take what I'm going to offer you here, because no matter what you're doing, what kind of business you have, and what your intention and goals are, some of the information and the value I'm going to give you today can absolutely take your business, take your work in the world, and add value to it and allow it to expand and grow. So, all right. So I'm going to give you some of the things you're going to benefit, some of the ways that you're going to benefit from this 30-day challenge. I'm going to start there. We're going to talk about over the 30 days. So I'm first going to introduce you what this 30-day challenge is. We're going to break it down on this video. And then over the next 30 days, I'm going to be sending you more videos out with little additional concepts of things to think about as you're moving through your 30 days. Some of the things we're going to talk about is the power of leverage, and how, when we can use leverage in our life, how that can actually change our personal life, professional life, on financially, how our world can expand and grow so much by using the power of leverage, and really understanding leverage on a deeper level. Another thing we're going to look at is systems, and the power of systematizing our life so that our time management and our time efficiency is much better, so that what we're actually able to accomplish is a lot more in a shorter amount, in a condensed amount of time. This is also kind of inspired by the 4-hour work week, Timothy Ferriss, or also the Pareto principle, where you look at 80% of our results comes from 20% of our work. So how do we really use systems so that we can benefit and maximize what we're doing? And if you look at our world today, we are so overwhelmed, and we're so busy with trying to get everything done. So it's really, how do we leverage our time? How do we use systems? So we're going to look at those 2 principles throughout the next 30 days. Another thing that we're going to look at is online technology, right? And how do we use modern day technology to expand our vision in the world and our work in the world? And that's sometimes something like, I have a yoga background and a healing and art background, and sometimes in those worlds we tend to shy away from stepping into what's available to us to expand our world and to reach a larger audience. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And also, another really big one of my personal favorites, is the power of focus. Being able to laser focus our attention so that we can actually manifest what we want to create. So in the very beginning, the first step, what I want to do with this 30-day challenge is, I want you to take a minute. I want you to take a deep breath. You can pause this video if you need to, and I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil. And going to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and I want you to think about what's your intention. What do you want to create in the next 30 days in your life? It can be a business goal, it can be a personal goal. Don't judge what comes up, write it down. And then when you're clear, that's your intention. This next 30 days is going to support you bringing that attention, birthing that intention into the world. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce what the 30-day challenge is. And again, this was inspired by, this is the work of a multimillionaire earner online. And essentially, and I'm actually tweaking it, I'm adding a little bit of my personal flair to it. His practice essentially is for his team is that you, for 30 days, you read for 30 minutes a day and you listen to audio for 30 minutes a day. I'm going to add to that, you're going to also exercise for 30 minutes a day. And we're going to break down the simplistic little steps here. So the reason I'm adding 30 minutes of exercise a day is that when you're going through a little intense period with this, with the 30 days of reading, the 30 days of audio, what we're actually doing is you're growing your mind field, you're growing your intelligence, and a faster and more efficient way to do that is to oxygenate your brain, first of all. And so you really want to start with getting that, if you really put a value and say, I'm going to exercise first before I sit down to do my work, your brain is actually going to it's going to be oxygenated and it's going to be more receptive to some of these new ideas that as you're growing over the next 30 days, which your brain will grow a lot to just sit down and do these exercises. You will see a big difference, and especially if you add this 30 minutes of exercise. And even if you have an exercise program that you're doing now or you have your routine, I encourage you can keep that or you can modify it a little bit, but just make sure that you're doing it 30 minutes a day. And if you have no exercise program, why? You might want to think about, okay, it might be as simple as walking. And you can combine the two as far as listening to audio. Sometimes you can double up and say, I'm going to walk for 30 minutes and I'm going to actually put in my earbuds and I'm going to do 30 minutes of audio while I'm walking. So we're going to talk about the audio and the books as well. So I'm going to make a suggestion on the reading because this is something over the next 30 days. I'm actually going to introduce some of the ideas and concepts from a couple of these books. One of the books is Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. This is a foundational work for I would say mass numbers of highly, highly successful people. And this was actually a book. It was written in 1937, Napoleon Hill, and it really kind of birthed the whole success movement, personal development movement. And if you've read the book, you might even consider reading it again and revisiting it, because sometimes just reading it once, the work contained in this book goes so deep and is so rich that just reading it once is scratching the surface. Even reading the book itself, they suggest that you read certain chapters and certain parts 3 times over before you can actually get the full concept of what he's talking about. So Think and Grow Rich is one of the books. Another book series I'm actually going to suggest is the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, Robert Kiyosaki. I think that the original book of that series is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I'd also suggest Cash Flow Quadrant, which is something I'm going to reference and talk about as well over the next 30 days. A third book, if the financial world, so a lot of times I'm going to preface this by saying that for some of the teachers and the healers in the world, we all want to make a good living. We all want to be valued for our time and for the services and the things that we offer to the world. And we all want to feel that what we offer to the world has value to it. Sometimes in the world of creatives and healers and teachers and even stay-at-home moms, we can get caught up or lost in what our value for the world is. And we can, when we look at the world of finances, we can go like, oh, I don't want to talk about that or read about that because it might be numbers and I'm not good with numbers. You don't have to be good with numbers to fall in love with building your own self-worth. So I'm going to make there's a couple really, really great books on financial reading, which are not stale and boring. It's not like reading statistics and some really boring economics. They're actually books that can be very, very relatable, and it's all about the mindset, your relationship to your self-worth and your value in the world, and how do you increase that value. This is another really great one if you're spend any time around people of the financial world. It's a really, really simple but lovely book. George Clason, The Richest Man in Babylon. Sorry if it's flipped backwards from the computer mirror image. The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. And it's actually really, really old stories, and it's about how you treat debt in your life and how you treat wealth. What is that relationship to you, and how do you change and shift that relationship? So sometimes if we are working to create a business out in the world, we sometimes can go from one extreme to the other. We can pull in too much debt, trying to support it into the world and bring it life, or we can be very scarce around it, where we're actually not feeding it enough. So that's a really great, great foundational read. It's so simple. It's like 200 pages, easy, super easy read. Not even, it's 150 pages. So of those 3 books, so those are the ones I'm going to suggest that you read. And I'm going to be probably dipping into concepts from all 3 over the next 3 days. So audio, that's the third part of our business challenge. There's a lot of amazing audio out there. You can get books even on audio. And the idea is you can do the audio while you're driving, multitasking while you're cooking. The power of feeding your brain good things cannot be underestimated enough. I'm also going to ask or highly suggest that over the next 30 days we sort of cut out and pull back from fluff television and news, what some people call like CNN, constant negative news. Anything that's going to bring in fear, anxiety of like, oh my gosh, the world's falling apart, that's why I'm going to sit here and do nothing, to actually kind of pull back from that information and start to surround yourself and cocoon yourself with information that's going to empower your life. So audio is a couple suggestions. Empower Network, which is what I'm a part of, and this is part of that list of showing you what Empower Network is about. We actually have something called the Inner Circle, and that is interviews with marketers, business people, highly, highly successful people in their field, and they talk about how they did it, things that have worked, and a lot of mindset stuff. And there's also a lot of really powerful things from David Sharp and David Wood, the co-founders of Now, which is a $70 million business. You get a chance to hear from them and a chance to, get exercises and information and hang out and spend time with their thought processes. There's a lot of really, really brilliant minds that come together through the Inner Circle. So that's something that I would suggest if you want to look into that. There'll be a link connected. So if, that's available to members of Empower Network. And Empower Network is $25 to get started, and the Inner Circle is $100. Completely worth every dime. I'm also going to give you some other suggestions for other audio. I would say Wayne Dyer. I'm sure that Tony Robbins has some audio available. You can, if you're on a budget, you can go to the library, and there's tons of audio there. There's definitely ones on the money aspect. Frederick Lehrman, for the metaphysical world people, he's one of my favorites. He's actually has done some work called prosperity consciousness. So Frederick Lehrman is a really great one. Also, Artemis Lambert is another amazing audio speaker who can be phenomenal. Jerry Clark. There's a lot. There's actually a lot. I'm just sort of scratching the surface. So I'm going to suggest that you kind of dig in. You can go to the library if you're on a budget. You can also, sometimes you can do audiobooks, and you can do like a free, sometimes you can do like a free 30-day. So explore that and figure out what audios you can also dig around on the internet. There's people do offer some free stuff. So not everything for free is sometimes you have to think about how am I going to also invest. So sometimes if our mind goes, well, I'm only going to do it if it's free, that is a limiting, thought. So you might want to check that out if that's where your mind is going. We all do have budgets. We all have to work around certain, current restraints, but I want you to also consider as you're exploring what you need to do as far as bringing these books and materials and this information into your life. Are you limiting yourself, or are you being realistic about what you need? So I'm putting that on the table so you can, apply that concept. So let's see. I think that's about it to get you started on your 30-day challenge. Have fun. Stick to it. Don't overcomplicate this. Just start your journey, and anywhere along the way, if you start to notice shifts or changes in your life and in your thinking, and really what's going to happen, the first thing that's going to happen is that your mindset of how you perceive the world is going to start to shift a little bit, and that can be really, really powerful when you start to step in to a more powerful version of you. And ultimately, that is what you want to create, and that's what I want to inspire in you over the next 30 days. So I'm excited for your journey. I'm doing this journey right along with you. This is some of my favorite stuff to do in the world. And to just be on that journey in the path of growing yourself, growing who you are. Really powerful, really, really good stuff. I want you to enjoy this 30-day challenge. And if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out and leave them. You can email me or leave them on my blog. So have a great, great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.